Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our Greenleaf Season 5, Episode 2 reaction. Spoilers are all throughout this video, so if you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. Come back. We will get you through all of the big jaw droppers together, and there is a lot of them with Bishop, with Jacob, with Grace. Insert character here. We had Charity being told off by what felt like it was almost every other series regular on the show.
Charity.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get into anything here, if you guys do like this video, subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and hit that notification bell. We have a lot of coverage coming. I know that there's not that much still to come on this show, but we're going to take advantage of it and enjoy every last drop we have.
Okay, so we'll talk about Charity because she is such a frustrating character that I really like watching. And
Yeah.
it's because she is so frustrating. The writing for this character is really good. And she just can't help but get out in front of herself all the time. Even when she thinks she's helping by giving Grace this poem that she wrote, and Grace just called it out and kind of like, this is still about you. Like, how is this supposed to be helpful to what I'm going through right now? And it just feels like this lesson, I guess, that Charity just can't learn for herself.
I love Charity. I get the more Charity we have, the more I'm entertained. And it's not because I approve of a lot of the things that Charity ultimately does, but we all know, I think, this person who really, even if they have the best of intentions, they always kind of try to find a way to spin it back around, and it becomes about something different, or in this case, about Charity. And Charity just gets herself in so much trouble time and time away. But you're not going to tell me that the scene of Charity and Judy and Phil, like, all of that is nothing short of gold, because it was so ridiculous and entertaining with the whole Charity, well, okay, if you're going to hang all over him, I'm just going to blow everything up right in this given moment. And Judy didn't care at all.
No, Judy doesn't care at all. That's the thing about Judy. Judy is not stupid. Judy knows what's happening. She doesn't think that Phil's just come around because he's come around. She's fully aware. She just doesn't care. And it was a really interesting scene between her and Charity. Just that idea of, listen, we are actually all on the same page. We all know what's going on, so nobody's fooling anybody. It was pretty intense.
I still believe in Charity. I may be delusional for thinking so, but I still think that Charity is going to come back around. They're going to figure out some stuff, and she will be more into the family by the end of this.
I think she could be, but I mentioned this in our last video too. Is it too late? Is it too late for the family? Is it too late for us as viewers? Is there enough time with just a handful of episodes left for Charity to be redeemed?
I don't know if she can be, I think, fully redeemed, and maybe that's the message of it. Maybe it is okay, well, Charity, it's going to take us some time to get over all of the nonsense that you've pulled, but we see where you are right now. We see where your heart is. We're willing to forgive and try to find a way to move forward. And
yeah, and it's sort of like what Bishop said about we're all God's bowling pins, where the whole idea is you're going to keep getting knocked down and standing back up. And maybe it's not we're supposed to get redemption for Charity, but maybe we're supposed to just be on a path to that, where by the end of the series, yeah, she's not fully redeemed, but we can see the beginnings of something there, so we can just sort of have faith that in the future this is what would be happening for her.
let's pick up on Bishop Greenleaf here, because he has, I think, the part of this story that's the most concerning. We saw in a trailer following last week's episode him utter the "I'm as fit as a racehorse" statement, and the moment I think we heard that, it's sort of a, oh no, nobody says this unless there's actually a problem and they're trying to defend themselves. But he seemingly is forgetting conversations he's had with Lady May about Flag Day, about when they're getting married, and This is troubling. It's very, very troubling.
Yeah, and I mean, in earlier seasons, we saw Bishop dealing with the shaking and the Parkinson's, and then we haven't really touched on it a lot past that. We know it's there. We know that it will probably be developing. And now there's this memory loss that's coming in, which can be a part of that disease where memory does start to get away from you. And it's all very sad because we are in the last season. I don't really want to watch Bishop deteriorating. It is unfortunately part of life. And this show, while it does have some more bigger issues of things that are happening, really serious issues, it is a hopeful show. So the idea of sort of watching him deteriorate at the end of this just fills me with a lot of dread. He's so excited about getting remarried. He's so excited about starting this new church. And then there's this. And you could see it all over Lady May's face when he had forgotten that she was just kind of like, oh, no, it's getting worse. And where do we go from here?
It really makes me sad for Lady May because I feel like Lady May was like batting 1,000 in this episode. I loved like every single scene that she had of, her getting, angry at times, her showing, more a caring side to Bishop. And then this scene where she's trying her best to just get through the conversation. And I really love the scene with just letting Lady May eat the food that she wants to eat. I have been in Lady May's position where I've got like and I know that I've done this where I've had food that's been in the fridge for like 3 days and it's just sort of like, you know what? I still want to eat this food, so let me sit here and eat this food.
That was such a good scene. She's just like, ooh, a tomato. I was just like, yeah, we have all been there. And yeah, I mean, props to her for this episode. She's really done a good job, and especially with that scene with Bishop.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of us out there that know people that are going through memory loss or who have gone through memory loss. I just went through this with my grandma who passed away about a month ago. She had Alzheimer's, and it is a lot like what Lady May was kind of doing. You want to make sure that you're kind of helping someone not feel like, oh, you're being forgetful or coming down on them, but help guide them back into it so that they don't feel stupid or lost, but they feel like they're still being supportive. It was so beautifully written, like really well written.
I think the Bishop stuff right now is where Greenleaf is sort of shining the most because you have this romance, you have their quest to try to find a new home, try to rebuild the church, which is interesting. And I think the Grace stuff I think is pretty strong too because she's kind of on a quest of her own here to take down Bob, who we both agree is the worst, and it seems like she's getting somewhere courtesy of Cal, who does the incredibly shady thing of just calling her up because he apparently does not want to give anything to Darius, who will solve all problems in the blink of an eye, and he instead just calls her, it is just sort of like, Edenvale Lending. I will say it one more time. I will never speak to you again. I will never write this down. I will never do an interpretive dance about it. Hangs up.
Listen, he should have just told her what's going on instead of just giving her the thread. If you're going to be like Edenvale Lending, then just tell her what's going on. You've already asked her not to tell anyone. She's already said she's not going to. Then just tell her what's going on and go from there. You've said so much already that it will already come back on you, Cal. So just go for it and tell her what's going on.
Doesn't Edenvale Lending sound ultimately like the perfect name for something that's like a secret underground drug ring or something? It's like, hey, meet me in the back of Edenvale Lending at 8 o'clock. Like, this, this place is no good.
No, it's not. And clearly it's going to be the thing that's going to help unravel all these Bob problems coming up later on.
Yeah, I'm ready to see the destruction of Bob. I don't want it to be rushed. I want to savor it. I want to look at Bob and Judy's faces when it all falls apart around them.
Yes.
That is the satisfaction we need. And Grace really needs. She's also going through the AJ of it all right now, and it's good to know that he is alive, because it really felt like they were trying to trick us with that promo to think that he was dead.
Oh, that promo. Like, kudos to the promo department for putting that out there. Because they cut that together in a way that legit I thought he was dead. And I'm glad that he's not. It is very interesting that he is going through this thing where he's not dead, but he doesn't want to see his parents. He doesn't want to see anybody. The nurse is trying to play it off like, oh, this happens sometimes. But we all kind of know that there's something else going on with him that he probably just doesn't want to face with them. And, the popular theory online and with us is that he's not the real AJ, and he knows he's not, and that is weighing on him. But seeing Noah come back, I mean, that was interesting and everything, but it was a little bit strange that he was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm here, and now we're going to be this big happy family. I'm not with Isabel anymore. Now it's you and me. You guys haven't spoken in so long. It's crazy. It's like calling up your ex and being like, hey, so now we're a thing, you and me. What? I haven't spoken to you in I don't even know how long now. How are you?
Yeah, it felt like he thought that Grace would be like, all right, let's do this. And she would just drop everything else going on in her life. And it felt to me like Greenleaf wanted to bring Noah back so that they could have a callback in their final season. And, and I get it. I think people probably do this, here and there. But it did feel a little bit rushed that, I'm coming in now. I'm going to make this proclamation. I think they felt like they really needed to have Noah in here somehow. And this is what they came up with.
Yeah, it did feel really rushed. I'm going to give it a pass because their son, happened with their son, and maybe it's just bringing up a lot very quickly and really hard on him. So he's just like, okay, I need to hold on to something. Things are over with Isabel, and now this is happening with AJ, and hey, Grace, let's have a family. People don't always think straight. So I'm going to give that pass. That's probably what's happening.
I'm still team Grace and Darius.
Yes.
I think, especially after what we saw tonight, they're still working together. I think they're going to be A-okay. I'm excited about that. I'm much more excited about that than I am any love interest story that involves, at this point, either Zora or Sophia, because it is just sort of like, they cannot get good love interest characters to save themselves. Isaiah was the absolute worst.
Yeah, I actually, for this last season, would like all the love interest stuff with both of them to just be gone. I don't need sort of that teen drama stuff, because them together and their relationship is the thing that I really like, because it's not that easy always to write for teenagers or young people, especially when the main cast are all adults, and then you have this younger people in the cast. What do you do with them? The two of them together and them being cousins and their relationship in the family and that type of stuff has been fascinating. So I'm really hoping that whatever is going on with now this picture going around and all that stuff is going to kind of be dropped in this next episode, and we're going to kind of get into more of them healing and coming together and their relationship, because it's so good.
And that is the part of, I think, the show that's different, right? I feel like I've seen this photo is being sent around. I've seen that storyline, I think, on 8 other shows just in the past couple of years already. And I want to see something more for Zora and Sophia. Just this is probably where we get to the point of great contention with the Greenleaf world as we talk about the Jacob Greenleaf storyline, because there is a part of there may be a potential murder going on around this house that is incredibly juicy and dramatic, and it's that's the craziest thing going down with this show in some ways, but it's all kind of just messy, and it's not landing, I think, as well as it should.
Yeah, this whole Karissa doing this blackmail thing, it is such a rough storyline, and it's something I'm having just a hard time watching. I mean, it is really getting dark, and she's completely in the wrong. And of course, he's done stuff in the wrong. She's done stuff in the wrong. All of this is wrong. It's really weird because ever since we've met these two, their relationship has been on the rocks. It has never really been just the two of them. Everybody's, Jacob's having an affair. She's having an affair now. She's blackmailing him. I mean, it is such a difficult relationship to watch, and it has always been a difficult relationship to watch. And these two actors are doing a great job of making this difficult. It is supposed to be like this, so me feeling so tense every time I see them on the screen is the way it's supposed to go down. So I just feel like there needs to be some kind of road for this, because now we have Karissa basically blackmailing him into not even telling their kids that they're getting divorced. They're signing stuff. We watched him sign this dissolution of their marriage tonight. So why are they not telling their kids? Like, what is it now that you're blackmailing him over? Like, just stop.
I don't understand all Carissa's motives. I don't understand fully where we're going with the Will situation, other than that maybe they're just playing a game of I have leverage. No, I have leverage. Look at this. No, look at this. But
listen, for a while going into this season, I was like, okay, they've been through it together. They're just going to find a way through it. Now I'm out. I think they just need to stop. They need to not be together. They need to it's enough. You can't, once you're at the blackmailing stage of your marriage, the marriage is over. So split up, co-parent, Karissa, stop blackmailing Jacob, and everybody just move on.
The moment you have to stop blackmailing this person to someone, you have gone.
It's over.
Too far. And I think because, like you said, we've never really seen them at their best.
Never.
It's hard to be excited about the idea of seeing them back together because, like, what do we have to root for? We don't have any hopeful signs. There's no light at the end of this tunnel, really.
Yeah, and we don't even know what a happy relationship for them looks like. There just hasn't been one really presented to us.
I think, though, what we can ultimately agree on is, while Greenleaf always has its highs and lows,
yep,
it's just so entertaining. Like, it's so much fun hating Bob and Judy. It's so good seeing the messiness of Charity. I live for people on Greenleaf telling each other off sometimes, and we got so much of that in this episode. I love this episode for it.
Yeah, there was a lot of really cool stuff. And of course, they ended this episode with another sort of cliffhanger where we got Jacob going over to Tasha's house. Hey, I'm looking for Basie. Oh, he's dead. Oh, all right. Okay. So now Jacob knows this. This is out on the table. We know that it looks like he's getting divorced. Tasha's on her own. I know there's a lot of people out there that are kind of rooting for this because there has been a really natural sort of chemistry with them and a real, like, something that just feels a little more genuine with things. So I don't really know where he's gonna go with this. Like, where is Jacob gonna go with this?
There might end up being something more there. I'm just still stuck on the idea that you're gonna end the episode. Oh, by the way, Basie's dead. Roll credits. It's sort of like, okay, I know this is what Greenleaf likes to do, but we already just had an episode where we ended thinking somebody was dead, and I know this time Basie's actually dead, unless we're being straight up lied to. But
it's possible.
I think Basie's gone. It's just sort of like, really, guys, again, we're doing this.
It just really sucks, and there's a lot of me that's like, okay, I'm just gonna be in denial island over here because I don't want Basie to be dead because he was such a good foil on this show for everybody. There was just such a back and forth with him and Jacob for so long. That was so fascinating to me that I just
I love Greenleaf foils. You gotta have people to root for, to kind of be like, I'm not really rooting for you, but I want to watch you. I want to watch stuff go down. It's a bummer, but we've got a lot to look forward to. We still have a multitude of episodes to come. We are going to preview a lot of that, so subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Let us know what you think about episode 2 in the comments. And if you like this video, give us a like, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the store. And we'll see you guys here next time.